What They Said.
Coming up on today's episode, Naomi gives her views on partner's life in Wifey Lifey.
And Lou gives us the rundown on the good, the bad and the ugly of her dating escapades this week in Lou's Dating Diary.
We ask the question of the week, what are some of the green and red flags?
And in our star-crossed lovers this week, we ask, what is it really like to date air signs?
And we have our first couple, come in and talk about their first blind date. Have we found their perfect match? All that and more coming up. Yay! So Naomi, I can't believe how exciting and how cool it was to have our first episode be out there in the yonder and the reception for it.
I've been blown away by the response and the support from all of our friends, family, and
just random
friends.
people that ended up watching.
Yes.
Listen to it. What gets me is that, it makes me feel better that I'm obviously not the only person on this planet who is going through all this, bad dating apps, etc., and having such a bad time of it.
I think that's the biggest thing, is that so many people have resonated with our stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not alone.
I know, right? And look, we've got another jam-packed episode for you. So please continue to like, share, download, tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell your, that person down the road or at the bar that you really, really likes about this podcast. Just anyone. Just spread the word.
Wifey Lifey.
This week, we went on a date, my partner and I.
Ooh.
Made a special day.
Sexy time.
But it got me thinking about things that we look out for on the first date.
Nice.
And so we were in this really nice Peruvian restaurant in Surrey Hills. And I remember a few years ago, somebody did say to me, you can always tell a person by how they treat other people when you look at and watch how they
treat, waiters or something?
Treat hospitality staff. And that resonated with me, and I think that I use that as a gauge a lot.
I think that's a really good gauge because, when people first see you, they try and put their best foot forward, and you're like, you get lulled into this false sense of security, and then all of a sudden they just snap at a waiter or waitress who's just doing their job, and you're like, whoa. Yeah.
It really is. It does take you back. So I think that was one of the things that I did notice when I went out with the first couple of dates with my partner, is seeing how he treated the staff, that interaction, because that is really quite genuine.
That's a true self.
I think so.
If you're going to just kind of snap over something that's very kind of, it's not even that majorly important, and you just snap at it. It's just kind of like, and then you're like, whoa, what else would you snap at?
That's right. And I think the other thing that I do remember, my mum always saying, you can tell a lot about a person at the way they actually treat their food.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah. If they're actually a food sharer or not, some people might go, oh, your chips look really nice. No, you can't have any.
Yeah. Oh, do you like that? Because what gets me is, look, I know there's some guys that feel the same way. So guys, comment on our Facebook group if you agree. But I've heard that some guys say that they hate it when their women or a girl that they're dating just doesn't order anything. Yes. And then they order like burgers and chips and that, and she has like a salad or whatever it is, and then ends up eating all his chips and that.
Yes. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I've heard that a lot actually.
Yeah,
a lot of men don't like that. And please correct us if we're wrong. But it's always a good way to tell somebody about their kindness, whether they're compassionate.
Yeah.
And the way they deal with the food scenario.
It's all right if you say, oh, please, have a share. Like, try some of this. This is really lovely,
Look, I think that's really nice. And there's no harm in doing that. Just don't eat all my food.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, that's completely right. And what else do you reckon?
Well, look, that whole thing got me thinking about, when people start dating, they do ask, about people's values and ethics and what that looks like, because that's part of, I guess, the interview process to see if there is alignment
Yeah,
with
no, definitely.
people's values and their morals.
And what would be some of the ones that you would think, you know what, that's actually, he seems, or he or she sounds lovely. I mean, obviously there's the obvious ones like, serial killers, obviously not a good value or, a moral thing to have. But what would be some of the ones that you'd think, you know what, that's a good value? Like, I guess potentially how he is with family.
Family's always a big one, especially when you become a single parent. You do want somebody who is very similar in the alignment with the values and how they parent.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I guess how they, treat their friends and I guess it's going back to how they treat just normal people, not normal people, but like just people that aren't really close to them, like waiting staff again, right? It's like, it just transcends.
Yeah. And it's not just how they treat the people in their direct circle, but how they treat the general public and whether it is with respect.
Yeah. So everyone, look, be kind to people, okay? Treat people with respect and it doesn't matter who they are.
Yep.
Lou's dating diary.
Boy, my week's been hectic.
Lou, I'm excited and scared.
You're scared?
Please, I'm always looking forward to these stories.
So, as I alluded to last week, I had a couple of dates this week.
Yes.
One's coming up, so that hasn't happened yet, but I actually went out with the Flying Dutchman, who isn't really Dutch, he's actually Danish, but anyway. Yeah, look, it was lovely, it was nice. I mean, it started off stupid because of me, as per usual. I got there about 5 minutes early and I was like, feeling very chuffed with myself.
Yep.
And so I went in and thought, okay, look, I'm nice and early. This is great. Let me go to the bathroom, freshen up and stuff. And then I get a text and it's Flying Dutchman, not really Danishman. And he's like, oh, so where are you? I'm here. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm here too, And I'm like, maybe I can't see you. And he's like, yeah, I'm just sitting down opposite the bar. And I'm like thinking to myself, hang on a minute, what's going on? And then it suddenly dawned on me that I was actually at the Duke of Clarence.
Oh, dear.
And he was in Baxter's Inn. So I don't know if you know that whole place, that whole complex where Baxter's Inn and Duke of Clarence are, but they're opposite each other. So I had to style it out and go down the stairs. And I'm like, yeah, I told you I was right here. I was just, walking down the stairs for you. So that's how that started. And it was lovely. It was really pleasant, really nice. But the weird thing with him is just that I thought he seemed a bit too much like me. So I reckon that later on, it just felt like I would be dating myself. And
I was going to say, you don't want to date yourself?
We need to have someone a little bit different, right?
A bit yin-yang.
Yin-yang. And it was, look, the conversation was flowing. He liked all the things I liked. I liked all the things he liked. And it was all a bit like, me too. We said that we will see each other again at the end of the day. But walking home, something was just didn't feel right, and it was just niggling at me, and that's when it just dawned on me that I'll be dating me. So a few days later, I bless him, I messaged him back saying, hey, really enjoyed our time, but I just think that it's not it. We just seem too similar, which is lovely and great.
Yeah.
But I think I just wanted to feel something a little bit different. I wish you all the best.
And what was his response?
You know what? He was absolutely lovely. He was like, oh, no, I completely understand. Sometimes, people, you've got to have some differences between you just to keep that spark and that, balance, I guess. How like what we said last episode, that we're balanced, right?
Well,
so,
I think you did the right thing as well. I think so many people just end up ghosting or not making that follow-up SMS, and that's really important. Do you get many SMSs from guys when they sort of like said, you're not the one for me, or it was nice but not really, we won't see each other on a second date?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, but not during my most recent foray in dating this time around. I've been ghosted, but I'll get into that in the next episode.
Yep.
But it's kind of like, yeah, just tell people. I think at the end of the day, we're all people. Just treat people how you'd want to be treated at the end of the day. You
I
know?
think that's a decent thing to do. I always used to send them a text and say, hey, that was a really nice date. I'd like to see you again. Or it was lovely meeting you, but I don't think that it'll progress. I think that's the polite thing to do. A point of concern for people is how soon do you actually exchange phone numbers, you know, and what is a safe space to do so?
I think if you're feeling comfortable about the way things are progressing, this person does not look like, you know, a complete lunatic or sound like a complete lunatic. You can tell if somebody's going to be, you know, that sort of person. If they're saying, yes, give me a call because I want to trade nudes, then no, right? Yes. I mean,
I think that is a really good guiding factor for a lot of people, and especially women, on whether they should trade phone numbers or not, is the language that is used when you're actually exchanging texts, is whether they go straight to that sex talk and whether they want to trade pictures very early on. I think that that's always a concern, but we'll talk about that in the red flag, green flag
absolutely
section.
Yeah. And look, always do what you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable giving your telephone number quite early or later and you need to wait on it, do it. Don't ever do anything that you don't feel comfortable in.
Question of the week.
What are the red and green flags we should be looking at for, Naomi?
Oh, God. You started off with me straight away. Or do you want to start with red flags and then I'll...
Yeah, okay. We'll start off with the bad stuff, so that at least then we can end on a good note.
Yeah, I think so. So tell me, what are some of your red flags?
Okay, so some of the red flags that I see is people only calling late at night to see you, then and there, or meeting, calling, texting only during working hours.
Ah, yeah.
It's like, you know, either they want you as a booty call.
Yep.
Because
that's usually like, what, after 9, 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, you know. So obviously they're not after anything that, you know, serious, or it just means that they literally maybe have a partner or married.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's dodge.
And what's the red flag for if they're only texting you during the day, during at work, and not in the evenings?
Again, it's probably because they're at home with their missus.
Yep.
You
they
know,
don't want to get caught.
Yeah, they don't want to get caught on their phones hidden away or what have you. And it's just a major red flag. You're just like, okay, why can you only text during the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.? You know, this isn't a work thing that we're doing.
Yeah, I think that the consistency is the big thing, isn't it? So if you're actually texting somebody and they're only replying, you know, 5-6 hours later or in the evenings or just during work hours, that's definitely a red flag.
Okay, so another red flag I've got is he or she wants you to revolve only around them. And they don't understand why you can't drop responsibilities for them.
Yes, I had that. I had one guy said, you know, you've got too many constraints.
What?
I've got kids.
What? Constraints? That ain't a constraint. That's my life.
Yeah, he didn't understand that I worked. I've got kids. And so obviously that didn't go ahead.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned it last week. It's like if you have dates, etc., you know, you need to plan around some of your, you know, responsibilities and stuff. Never call them constraints.
I mean, we're not in our 20s.
Yeah.
So we've got responsibilities.
Stuff.
Yeah,
we've got important stuff. You know?
Yep, that's a red flag.
And also, just touching up on that again, there's people who, you know, think that their lives are more important than yours. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you know, they could also have kids, like, you know, and they'd want you to, you know, not put your responsibilities or your life, you know, first, but put theirs first. So, like, their kids, their stuff first. And it should be, again, a mutual thing. It shouldn't be just like, you know, forget about your old family, etc.
Oh, you know? It is a compromise.
Yeah.
Most definitely. To make sure that you sort of stay in your lane for a little bit.
Yeah. No,
when you're first meeting somebody. And it shouldn't entirely be just focusing on them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Did you want to try and do two green flags as well? Just to balance it all out.
2 green flags. When I was actually looking on dating sites or dating apps, one of the green flags I would be looking at is photos of him in a group setting, maybe with an animal, like a pet, not a tiger or fish.
Definitely not a tiger or fish. Jeez.
Sometimes a photo, at least one photo where he's in a group setting, so with friends. The other thing is if he did have photos with kids, he'll black them out or put a smiley face on. I don't really like pictures of children on dating sites.
I agree. I find that a bit sort of...
And him doing something active. Okay, so either a sport or at bushwalking.
I guess it shows he has like interests, like
so
things going for. Yeah.
So he's not sort of sitting at the computer, no toilet pictures. I'm treading on your territory now.
Yes, you are. I think we will talk into that like in a later episode as well. Okay, so another red flag that I've seen, and I think ladies, you can especially relate to this, is being flaky and breadcrumbing. Like, even though he's like,
yeah,
just giving you just enough to reel you back in and to think that, they're interested. Like, I can't really see you now. I can't see you now. And they keep on like postponing either the date, but they kind of say the right things and say, but I can't wait to see you. And, so they give you just enough
to sort of like hook you in, but not necessarily make the next move.
Yeah.
So I think, most definitely that's a red flag.
It's not just men. Women can do that too. And, I'll put my hands up. I've done that, because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how I felt, etc. So I didn't want to, commit or lose out or whatever. So, and this is why it's important to do the work and be ready to date, because it's not fair on other people, and that's something that I used to do when I was, really young.
Or sometimes you sort of like hear from them and then they disappear for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
So you end up becoming like pen pals or dating app pals.
Exactly.
Or an SMS buddies, and there's no plans on meeting up. I think that's an important one.
Yeah, no, exactly. And again, I think we touched on that in the third episode as well.
Okay, so that's sort of like with dating profiles and initially connecting. How about first impressions on date? Are there any red flags?
Yeah, I've got 2 here.
You've got 2?
So talks about their ex badly or too much. Like there has to be some in between. Like if they're like, I hate my ex because she did this, X, Y, and Z, and just completely hijacks the whole date by just talking badly about their ex, I'd be a bit like, whoa, that, you know what?
That's a bit full on.
Full on. I'm not your therapist, and also it can't all have just been their side, like, and you were like the saint.
And yes, it does take 2 sides for a relationship to fail.
Yeah.
Whether it's something minor or something major that the parties have done. But
exactly.
We all have a part to play.
Yeah, we all have a part. I mean, unless it's something like badly, like cheating, etc. But even then, I don't think it's something that you should really go into.
Not on the first date.
On the first date, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit full on.
It's just too full on.
It's too intense.
And then again, being too kind of, not complimentary, but being too much into your ex, like saying, I really miss her. She was great. She was like, we used to do this together. Oh, we came to this restaurant as well. And that's why I chose it.
That would be,
stuff like that.
I'd be calling you if that was the, if I was on that date. Lou, get me out of here.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm really sorry. I just got a call and my house is on fire.
Yes. Got to run out of it.
And the last red flag that I've got is that apparently when they say they have no social media presence, they have Snapchat, like what? No.
Yes.
No, yes. For real? No. Lies.
If they have no social media, that's always a little bit.
It's a bit iffy, isn't it?
It is totally iffy.
And especially when they have Snapchat. I mean, what? You have Snapchat, but you don't have Facebook or Insta.
What grown-up man has, or woman has Snapchat and not any social media?
Exactly. And that is a giant red flag, because it just means that unfortunately, they are hiding something. They either do, unfortunately, have a partner, have a family, etc. And, you don't want to be there bit on the side. Unfortunately, they're hiding something. Hence why they want to, do everything on Snapchat, because doesn't Snapchat only last a few, if you message.
Yeah, so if you open, I only know because I've got teenage boys.
I was like, how do you know?
I've
never used Snapchat.
Well, it's sometimes that's the only way I can actually get messages to my kids, because they actually look on Snapchats. But what happens is you send a photo, and as soon as the other person opens it, it deletes it. And the other thing is, I didn't realise it, but one of my sons went away for school and he took some snaps and sent it to me, and I'm like, oh, that's a beautiful picture of him. So I screenshot that photo, and it actually lets him know on the other end, your mum screenshot that photo. So it lets the other person know that you've screenshot it as well. So it's meant to. It's designed to delete. It is a bit dodgy.
That's dodgy as hell.
So he was like, "Oh, Mum, you don't do that." But that's something to keep in mind if people aren't aware that if you do screenshot a photo on Snapchat, the other party knows about it. So the purpose of Snapchat is to delete the history, I guess, or the photos.
See, they don't want
they're hiding something.
They're hiding something. It's like, it wasn't there, it didn't happen.
Yeah. I didn't send that.
Like Shaggy, it wasn't me.
It wasn't. So that's a good red flag.
Yeah.
I always look for LinkedIn profiles.
Yeah.
When men say they don't have a social media profile, more often than not, they usually do have a LinkedIn at least.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe not an active, like, say, Instagram or Facebook,
but professional.
But a professional profile.
Especially if they're saying that they're a CEO or something, or a journalist.
Yes.
Sometimes
we do need to fact check.
Yeah, definitely you have to.
So I'll go with some green flags.
Yeah, go with some more green flags.
Some green flags in person. A big thing for me is how they presented themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So one time I rocked up on a date and he looked like he was coming to an MTV video music photo shoot or something.
What do you mean? What, did he look like a Backstreet Boy? Or did he look
like
what,
that.
really?
Yeah. So he had his jeans sort of like hanging halfway down his, the low.
Boy.
And he just dressed like a
like
19-year-old.
In the 90s.
Yeah. He had a beanie on and it just wasn't a good look.
Oh, and how old was he? 50?
Oh, mid-40s.
Wow, okay.
So that, I don't know if that's a...
Sorry, we don't want to shame people up for their clothes style,
No.
but, first impressions.
First impressions is important. So clean presentation, smelling clean, smelling nice. And biggest thing is looking like their profile picture.
Oh my God, yeah. Like
not look like their picture maybe 20 years ago.
Or photoshopped.
Yes.
Like, come on now. Like, guys and girls, I'm sorry. Like, I hear this from guys as well.
Yes.
Like, they say, look, I met her and she looked nothing like how her photos look because of... What is that Snapchat that does that?
Yeah, filters. Snapchat is. She doesn't have kitten ears in real life.
Yeah, or it's just all airbrushed to the max, right?
Yes, yeah, and so your filters is so much that you can't even tell the nose from the rest of the face.
Yeah, and it's like, so that's what I mean. It's both men and women that do that. And you mentioned it earlier, men that, do put really photos of them from 25 years ago. And it's like, to be fair to them, they honestly don't think that they've changed that much, though. Yes. And you're like, you have, bless you. Unfortunately. And another thing, just to before we end it, how do you feel about people that talk about their partners in crime? They want to find a partners in crime.
Dear. No, we're not Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, we're not going to, set up a first date to rob a bank or something.
Yeah. So many people actually say, I'm looking for my partner in crime.
What do you mean by
that?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, so that...
Stop it.
And during the date conversations...
Look, I think if they're really keen to speak to you, like, ask you questions, like, and maintain eye contact with you.
Yep.
I think, during the first date is
It's important, right?
It's really important.
That showing some interest in the other person.
Yeah, if they're just the eyes are wandering, looking at other people,
Looking at their phones a lot.
God, yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. Like, so some people make a conscious effort. I've really appreciated the people who said, "Oh, look, I've putting my phone face down."
You know why they did that?
So that the messages don't pop up and it could be another person on Tinder.
That I reckon they're waiting for their get out call. My house is on fire.
Star-crossed lovers.
So this week our focus is on our air signs. Lou, what are some of the characteristics of our air sign zodiac?
Well, the air signs are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. And I guess the commonality of them all is that they are very much mentally stimulated. And I guess I sort of alluded to that last week as well.
Thinkers.
We're very educated.
Educated, yes.
Yeah, we're
That's
very
always
educated.
Yeah.
We're curious about a lot of learning things and having deep and intellectual conversations.
The people with the ideas, communicators.
Yeah, they're big communicators. We love to talk unless you haven't,
Just in
figured
case
that out.
people didn't notice.
Yeah, so they're very much that way inclined. They're very quirky. They're the quirkiest signs at the zodiac.
Yep.
So, they're very much kind of, they will go and always try and do things at least once.
Yeah.
Like they will, it doesn't matter if there's a chance that they could fail or land flat on their face and look stupid. They don't care. They'll just do it.
It is about giving it a go, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not restricted by any type of boundaries.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much free flowing and liberating type of people.
Yeah, they're very justice orientated. They're very, they do want to do the right thing and the good thing. It's really interesting though, because like Gemini men, Geminis.
Fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact coming up.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, like Donald Trump is a Gemini. Boris Johnson's a Gemini. And so's Kanye West. I don't know if that means anything.
Is there a common theme there?
Yeah, it's a bit strange that, isn't it? Like, but apparently also in regards to settling down, etc., Geminis are the ones who, it takes a lot of kind of coaxing into, putting them, catching them and putting a ring on it. That like most of them aren't really that way inclined. They like their freedom.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Aquarius are the second kind of ones that like their freedom and they don't they hate being put in a box. They really love to do what, feel like what they want to do is what they want to do.
Yep.
And Librans are the ones who want to be in a committed, harmonious, happy relationship.
That's interesting.
It's like they go from one extreme.
So it's very tiered.
Very tiered air signs.
Tiered air signs.
Look, if you're going to date an air sign, be prepared to be taken on a journey of like complete randomness and you don't know where you're going to end up, really.
That's true.
Perfect match.
It's a perfect match couple. And today we have Kenneth and we have Marnie. Hello.
Welcome, guys.
Hi, hello.
I know it's like awkward. And they're our first perfect match date. So
thanks for trusting us with the process. How did it go?
get in there. What was some of your first impressions, I guess?
Well, yeah, impressive.
Okay, we won't look at you when you say. Right?
Yeah.
Like we all just went zoom.
Well, I wasn't displeased. So,
That's not
Correct answer. That's right. I'll be kicking him under the table.
And what about you, Marnie?
Yeah, I was not displeased either. I think you're very tall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, and you got a nice smile.
Okay.
It was
That's
nice.
nice. And how was the food at Bella Vista Hotel?
5
Delicious.
stars.
delicious. Yeah.
Really good.
Great. And once again, we'd like to thank Bella Vista Hotel for sponsoring this segment and for welcoming us and also our perfect match couples here with their lovely food and drink as well.
Thank you.
So you guys didn't know what to expect.
Nope.
Have you ever been set up on a blind date before?
Once and didn't go well.
Oh, no.
Today's a better experience?
Yeah.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High five to us. That's good.
What happened? Did you have to make a call or did you have to have someone call you to say your house was on fire?
No. We went to the Mean Fiddler and we ended up. She happened to have friends there, and I happened to have friends there, and we left with different friends.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay. And what about you, Marty?
Have you been set up on blind date before?
No, I haven't. This is my first time.
Ooh.
So you guys have popped my blind date cherry.
Is this something that you would probably do again? If something like, I know it was pretty apprehensive at first. It's like, oh, what do I expect?
Yeah, it's terrifying, but I would do it again. And, I trust the process, but I do have questions about why you matched us. So I want to know why you put us together.
Our questionnaire was very scientifically made up.
I think. Look, there were some certain questions on there. We're not going to go into it because there's still people that are going to go through the process and haven't filled out the form yet. But one thing that Naomi has humoured me with is the star sign stuff. And you both are Cancerians, and we thought like that would be a nice kind of commonality, and because you technically would have the same humour. And I spoke to both of you. I called you both or texted you both and said, "Hey, you're going to be on the date," and you did seem very like we were both funny.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And made me laugh. So.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
And did you get a chance to sort of share, I guess, that similar type of humour?
Yeah, no, I think we're a little bit apprehensive. Well, I
Yeah.
am. I won't speak for you, but yeah, it's a little bit like, okay, it's a bit
like, I don't
want to
wanna
awkward, but yeah.
I guess it's like, I don't want to show my true hand and show how nuts I am.
Yeah.
And how did the conversation flow? Did that flow okay?
Yeah. It wasn't too bad. Well, with the blind date, it was like you're basically going in there completely blind. You're like, whereas if you're on a dating app, you've got the weeks in advance where you've like text each other and you get to know each other a little bit better, but or a little bit at all. So
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Walking in completely blind and it's like, what's your name?
Who are you?
Yeah.
And I guess the $1 million question is, would you see each other again?
I'd like to say yes, but because of geographical like area, we're out of each other's 5K radius.
Yeah, we need a passport basically to go and see him again. We live at polar opposite ends of Sydney.
Oh, right, yeah.
So a little bit too far. But, I think catch up with you again at future events.
Yeah. That'll be a good opportunity to sort of like catch up.
Yeah, you never
really
know.
come.
Right.
It's good to know someone as well,
Yeah.
if you go out to...
You go to an event, you're not going in there like solo. There's actually somebody you know.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about Sydney Friends as well, and also doing this as well. It wasn't like, even though I would love to buy a hat for a wedding at some point, it's also about
Connecting people.
Yeah, exactly,
And really making good friendships moving forward and taking that leap of faith, not just, on a romantic sense, but also just to make new friends. So thank you both for trusting us.
and it wasn't so bad, was it? Like,
It's good. I would do it again.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Yay!
Yes.
Success.
Naomi, what a great episode that was today.
Another jam-packed episode.
It was, and that perfect match couple, how gorgeous were they?
We are looking forward to hearing about their journey moving forward.
Next week we've got another jam-packed episode, don't
So
we?
tell us what's happening next week.
Well, you're going to be talking about sharing common interests with your partner in Wifey Lifey.
And you'll be sharing more of your dating diary next week and your dating escapades.
We asked the big question of the week. What are some of the expectations when going on a first date?
And in our Star-Crossed Lovers Week, we'll be looking at the star sign Scorpio.
Yes.
And also introducing our newest
Perfect match couple! All that and more in next week's show. Bye!
See ya!
listening to What They Said, recorded at the Hills Podcast and Video Room located at Bella Vista Hotel. Editing by Chris Waluski. Music by Danny Muller. Content written and produced by Naomi Chow and Louise Palmer.